Hello and welcome to Plate Stack Chat with me, Jason, CF Media. And today we have one of my absolutely favorite guests back on the show. You've seen her at the CrossFit Games, you've seen her at the Rogue Invitational. Most recently, we saw her make history as the first ever winner of a World Fitness Project Tour. And she's not done yet for the year. But despite clearly having a pretty full schedule, she once again has found time to join me for a chat. The always gracious Alex Gazan.
Hello,
Hey,
how are
Alex,
you?
hold on. I'm good. I'm just going to move you over here now because you're on the wrong part of my computer. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. I
Perfect.
can see you now. Um, Alex, how are you?
I'm good. Uh,
Busy?
yeah, it's a busy season. NorCal is next week, so kind of just gearing up for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you're busy. And that was the more surprising thing of you being free to come on today. Was I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure she's got a busy weekend coming up soon, but that's
I feel like busy for a CrossFitter is like relative because like you're really busy, but you also have like you're just tired to do like physical things, but like you have a lot of like free hours where like I can sit and chat and it doesn't make me tired.
that is that is true. It's funny because I was thinking a very similar thing. Just say hello to T-Bird.
I do.
That is true because I was thinking about it with regards to like the fact that I'm in the UK and I do all these different shows and we've got all these people that are, in different parts of the world. And I'm like, it's really convenient that they can be free at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 11 o'clock in in the day, because otherwise I'd be in big trouble. I'd be up very late every night
Yeah.
otherwise. So, and I was thinking about that is the convenient thing of, kind of being your own boss. You can fit it around your training and it makes these kind of things possible for me living over here, which is I appreciate. What's this? On lunch, so can finally have a catch a live. Oh, on lunch, wow! I literally just ate a steak very quickly before coming up here.
Oh, nice.
It was
How do
given to
you?
me like
Oh, question. How do you cook your steak?
um, I walked downstairs and my wife handed me a plate with
Oh, okay.
cooked
Oh, I
steak
guess
in
okay.
front.
Like, how do you like your steak? Like medium
I
rare?
will usually go for like a medium rare, something like
Okay,
that. Yeah,
we can
yeah.
be friends.
Oh, good. Phew, pass the test. Yeah. Yeah. If I'm in a restaurant, I'll usually say yeah, like medium rare, just because if you say like medium, it's overcooked. If you
Hmm.
say rare, you never really know what you're gonna get. So I feel like if I tell them medium rare, it's gonna be still a bit pink, but and soft and juicy, but it's not gonna be like, you know, still mooing as it comes,
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. So it's fine. How do you like your steak?
I'm a medium rare gal.
Oh,
Yeah.
well done. Well done.
Anything
Good.
beyond that is a waste, I think.
Yeah, it's burnt. It's
Mhm.
tasteless. Um, how's Jake, by the way?
He's really good. He's in Cali though, so he works there from like March through August. So he's there doing his fire season. We got to see each other this last weekend. It's like kind of every few weeks we'll see each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, it's possible. See, I told you they were all here for you, Alex. Interesting.
Oh, that's my mom.
That's your mum. Well, I
Yeah,
did.
hi mom.
I mean, when she said Mama is watching, I kind of guessed because I
Yeah.
thought I'm pretty sure she's not my mum. So it would be
Uh,
a good reveal. It would be a good reveal. I love it. So jacked. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. That picture, the one I used for the thumbnail, I saw that on your Instagram, the jacket. I was like, what's she? This girl. She's
Oh,
just taking it to another level now.
thank you. The jackets were awesome. It was such a fun memento or like something to have because you can actually wear it and it's fun. Like it's such a
Oh,
cool jacket.
oh, you're telling me you're not going out in your kilt and cowboy hat that you've picked up from Rogue Invitationals?
I haven't yet, but maybe I should.
I feel anyone that's got both needs to wear both at the
Maybe
same
I'll wear
time.
the jacket, kilt, and hat and just
That
go.
would be a good look. That would be a good look. Tiba's left a pretty dangerous comment. Extra well done for me. A little burn around the edges is perfect. Oh,
Oh no.
if that's what she's having for lunch now, she's in trouble. Um, yeah. Okay, so we were. I got distracted. Your mum's in the chat. Other people are here. It threw me off. We were talking about your husband. So yes. So I mean, how's he? Because so he has a busy schedule as well,
Yeah,
as you're
right
saying.
now.
He's kind of in and out of when you can kind of see him. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, right
so
now
the
he works like 7 a.m. to like 4 or 5. Really busy. And then like when he's off work, he has to like make his food and just like essentially just get ready for the next day. So he's a busy bee.
Yeah, and how has that been affected now with kind of it feels like your season has grown quite a lot over the last couple of years, and so you're
Mhm.
busier than ever with events, which also involves travel and going around to different places. Is that making it harder to kind of, I imagine before it was sort of like, okay, well, we know we've got this chunk of time that is ours, and now
Yeah,
it's like that chunk of time starts to get stolen by other things as well.
yeah, he comes to all the events, so like we make sure that he's able to make it out for the weekend. Um, so that's not so bad, and I love having him around. It's like kind of my grounding presence, like r- keeps you like reminds you that like there's more to life than whatever competition you're at.
Yeah. Well, I've
Because
seen him wearing the Ted Lasso T-shirt, so
yeah,
has he got that kind of a vibe to him?
I would say he's like if he was the competitor, he's more like cutthroat and
Oh,
like
really?
all in than I am. Like I think I'm definitely more of the chill, like, yeah, I'm gonna do my best and like hopefully I win. Like I'm competitive, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
like I'm very chill
Oh, we've
competitive.
seen you standing atop a podium. We know you're competitive. There's no
I
doubt
just
about
mean
that.
like I don't have that like I'm gonna crush this person and like he's definitely more like that. So at events like he's like you just gotta like make sure you look at this person and like he's a little bit more
Oh,
into it.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That is interesting. No, I get the impression that you're not out there going like, I need to crush this person. You're more like, oh, I I crushed that person. Didn't mean
Yeah,
to do
like
that, but
I feel like in a sport like CrossFit where like yes, you're aware of where other people are and you can like kind of make sure you're staying on pace, but at the end of the day like all you can give is your best. Like I can't look at
yeah,
someone running a 5-minute mile for a 10K and be like, I'm just going to stay with them, like, because my body just can't do that. So, like, my philosophy is like, you give your absolute best with what you got, and hopefully it's enough.
yeah. I mean, that is the kind of the nice thing within the CrossFit competitions and events like this. It's that really you can only run your own race. You can't do anything to interfere with the other people. They can't do anything to interfere with you. And I mean, that example of the trying to keep up with someone on a run is a great one. I remember speaking with James Sprague about like all the um, stats on the games profile page because I was
Mhm,
surprised with kind of his was quite filled out and usually they're quite empty.
mhm.
And that idea that some people kind of like to keep things a bit secret, like how much they can snatch or how much they can clean, and they kind of don't want to reveal all their secrets. And it's sort of like, well, if I know you can snatch a lot more than me, that knowledge is not going to give me the ability to suddenly snatch more than you. Like just because I know what you're going to hit, it's like,
Yeah.
well,
I think the only like advantage or secrecy that can be like relevant is like strategy, maybe.
yeah,
Like I've tested this workout and like this is a trap, or if you go unbroken here, you're gonna like blow up. But otherwise, like yeah, kind of like what you just said, strength. Like as much as we all wish we could magically be 20 pounds stronger, just because someone else is, like it doesn't really work that way.
yeah, no. I mean, I've tried. I've tried interviewing all these athletes, thinking, you know what? If I interview them, maybe some of that strength will rub off on me. It's not happened. It's not happened. If anything, I've gotten worse. I've gotten worse and older. So
That's
those two
probably
things
just
together.
the 3 days a week or 3 days a month situation, not
Oh yeah, at
uh,
the moment, I mean, my training is really in the bin. But it was funny. I was talking to some people at the box yesterday because we had a workout that was, it was like 2.5 minute windows. So we had an A, B, and a C. Each one was 2.5 minutes to like complete the work and have your rest within that time. And then we ran it 3 times. So you were going to do each station 3 times, and it was like,
wow, we had like the same workout
oh
yesterday.
really? So we
Yeah.
did it. There were double unders in all of them. So it was 40
Okay.
double unders. It was 40 double unders, 18 wall balls, 40 double unders, 15 toes to bar, 40 double unders, 12 burpees. They were the stations.
Nice.
Um, and I was saying something, it's like, it's funny because I feel like I haven't trained in ages consistently. But yeah, every 40 double unders is unbroken. I'm like, I don't think I will ever forget how to do double unders now. I mean, I've done them for so long. Whereas I remember when we went into lockdown, like COVID times, talking to people who were so scared that they were going to lose certain skills. They're like, "Oh, it
Mhm.
took me forever to learn to do a pull up, and I'm going to learn to not be able to do a pull up anymore, or this or that." Other skills I've definitely lost. Like a lot of the strict strength has gone, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anyway, we're not talking about me. We're talking about you. So
We can talk about you, it's fine.
No, that's all right. No, I've been invited actually onto another podcast to talk about me next month, so I'll save it all for that. Save it all for that.
Right.
Anyway, what else did I want to ask you about? Oh, something I have to mention, because while I may not be as elite, or as elite, not even nearly elite as Alex Gazan, we do have something in common now, because we both have the same sponsor. I never thought in a million years I could claim that I had something in common with Alex Gazan, but this podcast is powered by Strivey. I know that you're using Strivey for the Underdogs programming.
Mm-hmm.
So I do usually mention them at the start of the podcast, but I thought I'll wait and I'll bring it up when I'm actually speaking to someone that's using them.
They're great. They're whole. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, see,
Um,
I look at that. I absolutely gave you a beautiful setup to then be able
no,
to tell
no,
everyone how wonderful Strivey is, and you start yawning.
no. Strivey's great. They're and like the team behind them is awesome too. Like,
Yes.
they're so nice. And the app is great. It's where Justin can tell me all the awful things I get to do.
Yeah. How is Justin? I haven't spoken to him for a little while. He's commented on a few posts I've got recently, but I haven't. So I've and I will reply or respond, but I haven't actually had a chat with him for a little while. So he's doing all
Yeah,
right.
he's doing great. I feel like last year he was dealing with a little bit more health flare-ups and just like life events, and I think that's kind of cleared up a little bit for him. And we've been having a lot of fun in the gym, and he was able to go to WFP, and he's coming to NorCal with the whole family next week, which will be so fun. But they're the best. Like, I spend a lot of my off days with him and his family, and I'm just
Yeah.
really grateful for like my second family, you know?
Yeah. I have seen a lot of posts from his house, basically you sort of there.
Yeah.
And I think he has said if I'm ever in the area, I mean, it's such a great like invite to throw out. He's like, oh, if you're ever in the area, I think he offered to cook me a steak. He's
Oh
like,
yeah,
if you're
he's a
ever in
good
the
cook.
area, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, easy to say if you're ever in the area when you know that I'm not randomly in the area. I'm nowhere near. But yes, wonderful. So it's nice that he can be with you, and taking the whole family is a big. But that, I mean, that's got to be good for you going back to the idea of kind of being able to zone out a little bit and not just
Yeah.
stress too much on the competition. That's a bit of a distraction that you can kind of enjoy, I guess.
Yeah, they're great. It'll be like they're always. I Ashley always sends me like a sweet cheer video from her and the kids each day, so I'll get that in person, which is sweet. Um, yeah, it'll be nice.
So you mentioned he was with you oh, let's go back a second, because you said that Jake goes to a lot of the events with you.
Mhm.
He wasn't at Rogue, was he?
He was.
He was. I'm upset now. I didn't
Sorry.
see him. I didn't see him.
He was. Probably, I mean, I feel
I
like he
mean,
was kind of all over the place, but he was there.
it was hard to track anyone down, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I saw you. We had a chat. That was nice.
Mhm.
Eventually, uh, and I saw Justin many times, and I saw like Dylan and that. And so I kind of, but I saw others that they did have their partners there and others that didn't, and I was like, oh,
Jake just didn't have access to the warm-up area,
who
so
who
that's probably what.
who did, Alex? Who did?
I don't know. Well, some people like for example, what you just mentioned, Dylan. Like Ariel always gives her coach's pass to Dylan, so he's back there.
That's clever.
Whereas like mine goes to Justin, so like Jake doesn't usually get back there. Every
But
once in
Jake's
a
giving you
while.
all this great advice. You've told him about you've got to look at, how you've got to crush your enemies. Like, don't you want him to have the coach's pass?
Mm, no,
Very good.
I want him
No.
back there. Like I wish he could be back there, but I'll save the coaching for Justin.
Yeah. Last year you told me that the CrossFit Games was merely a stepping stone to get to Rogue. Like that was go to the games so I can go to Rogue. That was your you said that on the podcast, by the way. So don't turn around now and go, no, I don't think I said that. I've got
Well, I'm like,
evidence.
oh, did I say that? I mean, was this before or after the games happened?
This would have been before.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
would have been before. Yeah.
Mm,
It was when we were talking about like the ranking system for Rogue and things like that.
mhm.
And and the
Yeah.
idea was, oh yeah, go, you hadn't left for the games yet, obviously. So you were like going off to the games, and it was kind of, but what you really wanted to do was lift heavy things at Rogue.
Yeah, I feel like Rogue obviously like biasly like especially at that point in time I was just super excited because the events tend to be more up my alley and fun, but I think now, which has been the goal, is to train to the point where like it doesn't matter which competition, and hopefully
Yeah.
it'll all start to just be fun. And I think we're getting there.
Is looking at like how busy your schedule is, I mean, is Rogue still on the cards for this year?
Yeah, of course. Like if however they shake out the points and if it all works out, I would absolutely love to go. I think it's definitely one of the most like, prestigious, well-ran comps, and get to go to Scotland again. So if I'm invited, then I will definitely be there.
Hey, I'm with you. If I'm invited, I'm definitely going to be there. I've submitted my application again. Let's see what happens. I said yes
So
last time, so stranger things have happened.
yeah.
Um, hopefully, I actually got my credentials approved for French Throwdown,
Oh, nice.
um,
That's exciting.
like 5 days before it kicked off. I
Yeah.
was
Oh
like,
wait, it
yeah, I
already
don't,
happened,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Sorry.
I don't think I've got time to like plan a trip in the next 5 days. I didn't think was happening, so I
Yeah.
didn't go there. But Rogue hopefully will happen. I just was just curious because obviously your season's gotten a lot busier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have you kind of looked through the calendar of? Well, I mean, already you've skipped some events, right?
Yeah. So
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's like I feel confident about it, but it's also a little nerve-wracking. So, um, in every other year, you've only had one shot to make it to the games, and that was semifinals, regionals, the sanctionals, whatever the case. Um, but this year, there's like technically, let's see, online, the two in your region, and then the last chance qualifier. So if you take
Yeah,
advantage of each opportunity of four, um, oh no, actually it would have been five for me because I could have done Mayhem, online, TFX, NorCal, last chance qualifier. So if you took advantage of all the opportunities, you had five chances. But I think just looking at the calendar and knowing that we really wanted to execute and show up to WFP like ready to go, um, online didn't quite make sense. We were going to wait and see the workouts. Like, if there was, we kind of just decided if we looked at the workouts and there was like two that we knew like I could win or get like
yeah,
top three, then like we would go for it. But the workouts, I feel like were just kind of, they were great workouts, but open for everybody. Like, who knew who was going to do well or not? And with only 11 spots, like it just wasn't worth the stress to us.
yeah.
And we saw like people that originally were in got booted out due to video penalties and just dealing with the stress of all that and then potentially it not even be worth it. We decided to skip out on that. So then we went to WFP and then I could have gone
Which
to,
went pretty well.
yeah, I feel like it paid off good. Um, and then if we wanted to, we could have done TFX the following week. But again, that's like such a quick turnaround. And I mean, kind of looking back at like the programming, I probably should have just done it because it was
Yeah,
nice.
I guess. I mean, how beat up did you feel after WFP? Probably you would have been
Physically,
okay. Yeah,
physically, I actually felt good after a couple days, like kind of just recover from a hard weekend of training.
yeah,
Mentally, I definitely felt a little smoked. Like my nervous
yeah,
system was crashed for a good 4 days. So who knows? But I mean, Sydney McAlishan turned around and did it. Olivia turned around and did it. A couple others, Hannah Black.
yeah,
So it's definitely possible.
yeah.
I wanted to get back into a groove and like start training again. So this is our what's today? Today's Thursday. So this is our second week of like full training. And then next week we'll taper into NorCal. So essentially just by elimination, we got rid of 3 out of the 5 chances. And yeah, here we are.
Does that give you like a level of anxiety that I'm passing up chances that are like as you said, 5 chances is more chances than most years you would have had. So
Yeah.
on the one hand,
Um,
you're kind of like, well, it's a bit like normal, but at
yeah.
the same time, especially when you start see, when you can see people like when you already know that certain people that will be at the games, like
Mhm.
they're already going and you're not yet going.
Yeah. I mean, when I watched TFX, I was kind of like, oof, okay, like you made this choice, like you got to be confident in it. Just because I was like, oh, like I, I just saw it and I was like, man, like I could have done what I needed to
Yeah,
do there. But at the end of the day, like our goal and what we're training for is to have that feeling at any comp. And the goal is to win NorCal and like just be able to show up and do what I need to do. NorCal's a little bit more scary in the sense of they're inviting anyone. So anyone that hasn't qualified can go, so it's not region based.
Mhm.
And then NorCal's notorious for some weird shit, for lack of a better term, like bucket holds, gymnastics complexes, backwards handstand walking. So my hope is just that they make it well rounded enough that it is a true complete test to get the best people to the games. And if that's the case, then I'm going to show up and do my thing, and hopefully the cards fall where they will. But I trust our training. I trust the work we've been putting in. As long as like it is true to a test of fitness and not just random skills.
Oh, this will look entertaining on TV. No, it's got to be, yeah. I guess in that case, then, like winning WFP, does that give you a boost for, like, we came in with a plan, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of people are kind of scattershot, right? There's all these opportunities. I'll take them all. Something will work out for me.
Yeah.
Whereas your approach has very much been, I'm gonna skip this one so I can go into WFP really, fully prepared.
Hmm.
And then I'm gonna skip this one so when I do go, I can again go in fully prepared.
Hmm.
So winning WFP, like, does that give you, did that like bolster your confidence that, okay, this strategy that we've put in place, there is a function to it and it is working?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, WFP is a great field of athletes. It's top 20 games athletes and um, people that qualified in that are phenomenal athletes. And I think winning against that field, obviously, like, is just going to be a boost of confidence as it is because it's the people that I'll compete against at the games. Um, but then also, too, like, just the training that we've put in on running and um, just certain things like seeing that pay off, like, that's a huge confidence boost. And um, like Justin's hyped me up for a couple years now, and it's not that I never believed it. I just wasn't there. Like I just in my like heart of hearts, I knew like I couldn't run those paces or do those things. Or snatches tended to like kind of bring me down and as far as overall points. But like I'm starting to see all the things fall into place and like I trust my fitness and like I see the plans working. So I'm confident going into NorCal. I'm not arrogant. Like I'm not gonna underestimate anybody. And I know that like nothing is a guarantee. Like you can't just show up and I'm gonna win and win. Like there's gonna be people fighting for a game spot and I'm prepared to do that and I trust that what we've done is enough to get there.
Yeah, I guess it's less arrogance and more, like a lot of people within the world of CrossFit love stats, right? So they love their data. So it's kind of data driven, though, isn't it? Like if you can look at your results so far this year, you can look at your results going back, certain events in the past. Like it's not like someone who's just turning up. You get those people like, I'm starting CrossFit. I'm going to the games. That's my goal. And they turn up at every competition thing. They're going to absolutely kill it. And then, because they're the best person in their gym. And then they realize, oh, actually, when I'm on a field with these athletes, I don't stack up nearly as good as I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, you've done it a lot. So
Yeah, and data, like as far as semifinals go in the Northwest region, like I won 2 years ago. I got second last year, and both of those events happened with a couple, I don't want to say like catastrophic finishes, but a couple that hurt
yeah.
me, like points wise. So if I can just shorten those up a little bit, like I said, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to. But I'm not going to underestimate anyone. I don't know who's going to be there, and whoever is there, like I'm ready to race, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. I think, Justin, as you say, has always believed in you. Like Justin could tell us you could fly. We'd believe him because he's got such passion for it. So it does feel like, and I think because you've had certain things that you're just so good at, or you really shine on the field when we see you doing certain things, that it does then make, those I think you said catastrophic, but those times things go wrong, they're like more surprising, right? Because we don't expect that from Alex. We expect, these top 10 finishes at the
Yeah.
and if you're outside of that, it's like, oh, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah, and the
probably we
goal
would
is
have
to
thought I'm fine.
get rid of those. I mean, as much as I can control, right? Sometimes events happen where like something happens and you're just in it and it is what it is and you're going to have a bad finish. But as far as like what we can control and my ability and my fitness level, like we're working on chipping those away.
Yeah, which it seems like, you're saying that you're actually seeing, and I wonder if, if Justin's confidence in you has always been that long game. Like, he's got that eye where he can look and go, yeah, she can do this, she can do this, even if at the moment you can't. But he
Yeah.
knew that the potential was there and you would be able to do it. And now you're seeing that happen. Okay, I'm going to address a few little comments
Yeah, of course.
here. Let's see. First one is, this is something you have got that you other athletes don't, is obviously the best hair in CrossFit. So
Thank you.
yeah, so we've talked about your hair before because I've said that you and my daughter have very similar hair. So a big fan. Will you be at WFP with media credentials? I'm assuming that's addressed to me and not you, Alex, because I mean, if you've got media credentials as well, that's great. You can multitask. I get all the media stuff sent to me from WFP, and I didn't request it. Somehow I got put on a list, which filled me with pride. So that was nice. And I did, and I think I got offered credentials for the tour one, which obviously I was not going to go to. But I think I said to them probably the finals that are much closer to me.
That would make more sense. Yeah, in
So
Copenhagen.
hopefully, just depending on what other, it's hard. I've got to balance weekends away. It's not easy. I'm not a, elite athlete like Alex Gazan.
Yeah.
Got that
It's a
flexibility in
big
my schedule.
crossing the pond is no easy feat.
No, as you know, and you have to compete when you do it, so that's much worse. And then Augustus Link has said, "I like how professional Mr. CF Media looks today. It's not just today; it's my new look. I've
I
gone for a
like
new look. I feel like I need to make the distinction between the wonderful. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like when you go to CrossFit events, everybody in the audience, like the spectators, look like they're about to go and do the workout. They're all dressed, in their gym clothes, like ready to jump on the field at any minute. And recently I was like, you know what, I should change that. I should dress for my role. You turn up and dress for your role as an athlete, and I should dress for my role as someone who's talking to you and showing you, the respect you deserve. So I dress up for the athletes. And actually, Rogue is something that made me really think about that as well, because you know how hard it was to get access to the athletes, and I was having to like pre-arrange interviews with them, and sometimes that was literally like having to lean over the barricade and shout at them while there's also all the crowd shouting at them because they're, oh Alex, well, we love you, sign this, and I'm there trying to go, sorry, can I can I book in an interview? And I figure if you look to the audience and there's all those people dressed, in their We Love Alex Gazan shirts, and there's me dressed like this, you might realize that I'm there for something different, right? So
yeah, that's smart. I like it. You look very sharp.
Thank you. Well, and also like the one thing I've always had, like the media stuff I do, the YouTube stuff I do, it's always been about, it's kind of, it seems, it's sort of that idea of, it's like almost like old school journalism because they're like, oh, you've actually gone out and hunted down some different facts, and you're not giving your opinion, you're just sharing a bit of information. And so I was like, hey, let's double down on that, let's embrace that. So well, I wasn't specifically meaning today as in, oh, I'm sorry, I don't understand this the waiver in the date here, because in the UK we use a slightly different way. But yeah, thank you anyway, appreciate this. Oh, hold on, I see it. Loved watching Alex compete at WFP, so excited to see her continue in confidence and ability.
Thank you.
There you go, see, they all love you, Alex. We knew that. Everybody's getting on the, they're all starting to see what Justin got us.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we said you skipped out on some things. Is there or what's the kind of biggest sacrifice you've had to make this season with regards to maybe events or things that you wanted to do that you're like, I can't do that? Like if I'm going to stick to the plan.
I don't know. I turned down Mayhem, which would have just been a cool opportunity because I know like that's kind of like nostalgic and iconic to be invited to that. Um, but again, it just wasn't good timing, like coming off my shoulder injury and like all this stuff. It just didn't quite fit. I haven't turned anything down that I've been gutted about, to be honest. I feel like it's all made sense, and yeah.
Yeah. Are you quite happy with the new season? Do you like being busy? Do you like having, because we've talked for years
Ask
that
me,
want
ask me
athletes
at the
want
end of the year.
opportunities. I'll ask you. Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
funny. I had BKG on, and like he was talking me through his kind of event calendar, and you could sort of see him in real time realizing, oh, I'm really going to be very busy with a lot of
yeah. Like,
competition.
I mean, I've done one of the competitions that I have on my list so far, so I'm like, yeah, it's going great because it went how I wanted it to. Um, but ask me like after maybe the second WFP tour that's after the games, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I guess so far it's been kind of, you've eased into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, having Rogue as well at like the end of the year
Yeah, it's kind of
is,
like there's no true off season. Like it's the games. You can take a week off, but then you kind of have to get back into it because WFP is right around the corner. And then you can take a little bit off, but then Rogue's right around the corner. And then the WFP finals right around the corner. So my off season will probably be in January, especially since they moved Wadapalooza. Oh, and then I'm doing so. My plan is also to participate in the tier SoCal, which is in September. So there's just really, there's a lot going on.
yeah, that, I mean,
Yeah.
that is, okay. I'll ask you at the end of the, you know what? I'll wait till I see you in person and then I'll ask you, hey, how's it
Yeah. I'm
going?
either going to be like thriving or I'm going to be hanging on by a
Yeah.
thread.
So when you say, who are you? I'll be like, oh no, she's really tired. This isn't working. Um, okay. That's interesting. What are you doing then with your very limited downtime?
Um, so when I have a few days off, I usually either go home to Oregon and see my family, or I try to spend time with Jake. But like I said, that's only a few days now, like it's not extended. Um, so when I'm not working out or training, try to hang out with friends, fill my time with stuff like that. I'm definitely an extrovert. I can be alone for like a few hours and then I don't like it.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah. So like I try to hang out. Like that's why I'm also at Justin and his family's a lot, just because since my family doesn't live here, like I miss that, and so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I think I'd be quite happy to just be sat in a room on my own with nothing to do for a while. But
Like I
I
said,
don't know. I don't know, because then I get, there's the voices in the head, right? Like that's the
yeah,
problem.
I like a little bit of alone time. Like I can handle a little, but um, I like to be with people and interacting. And like when I go home after a comp and get to be with like my mom and my brother, like that's always really special to me. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you know what it is? It's having two kids means you never really get any time where it's quiet. So when you
That's fair.
finally get some, you're like, oh, oh, oh,
You're like, what's this?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then, but there's always something to do. There's always, I like this week, because it's been like they're off school for this week and they go back next week, and then we had to go down to, so like my mum cares for my gran because she's not well, so they were going on holiday, so we went down to look after her so they could go on holiday. uh,
Mhm.
I had to come back because I have to work, so I came back early, and I had like one evening free, and I was like, what did I do with that evening? I can't even remember what I did with it. I did a podcast, of course I did. What else would I have done?
There you go.
I was like, oh yeah, that's what I did on Monday. And then they were back. So I was like, that was my one moment of like, oh, peace and quiet. I don't need to talk to anyone. And I had four
Mhm.
guests. So I was like,
That's wild.
that's not peaceful and quiet. By the way, yes, that I understand. Ah, yes, of course. 29th of May, 2025. That makes perfect sense. Because, sorry, the day is the thing that changes the most. That changes every day. So that's the information you need first, right? The month, it's going to be May for the whole month, and then the year, you don't really need to worry about that until the end of the year. So that's the perfect system. I do not understand why you put month first in America. It does not make sense. But anyway,
Couldn't tell you.
no, no. So that's your downtime. You're doing that. Let me see if I made any notes. Sometimes I make notes, but I don't think I made many notes. No, I just wanted to chat. Last time you were in the show, I think you ended up driving to the gym.
I remember this actually.
So which I'll be honest is, I think, one of the greatest compliments I've ever had on this show was you driving to the gym. I I've referenced that like a couple of times when talking to people about, like if they're like asking how it's going, or if I'm trying to, oh yeah, how is it with different athletes. Sorry, 1 second. I say 29th of May, so, so I refute your argument there. I said, like, what was funny is I kept trying to, not you told me you had half an hour. You were like, I've got half an hour and then I have to go. And I was like, okay, I appreciate you even coming on. I respect your time. And then it like hit the half an hour mark, and I was like, hey, Alex, you said you needed to go in half an hour. You're like, well, I just got to prepare my food, so I'll stay on for that. I was like, okay, that's nice. And then, you've prepared your food, and you're like, oh, I've got to go to the gym. Okay, well, goodbye. So, well, I'll keep it on in the car. You and Justin can talk. And I thought, you didn't need to stay on. Like, you kind of, done as much as you'd promised. So I just really appreciated that. Like, oh,
Oh.
she must actually have been enjoying the conversation, because there was a lot of opportunities to hang up, but you didn't. So
Anytime.
anyway, so you've got 2 more WFP events. You've got Knockout. You've got potentially Rogue. You said maybe January is going to be your off season, although when is the Tier SoCal? Did you say that's in November? September. Yeah. Okay. So it's still looking like January is now. When you say that's going to be potentially your off season, like how long are you thinking? Like a
I
week,
don't
2 weeks, a
know.
month?
I don't
Because
know.
the problem is it's going to, all roll back. Like, it's not like you finish this busy year and then you're like, oh, that's over. It's like, no, that's the beginning of, this is the new kind of, well, it changes quite often, but if things
Yeah.
stay the same next year, like this is sort of the new format, right?
Yeah, I
How
mean, probably
how
like
sustainable is that for you?
I don't know. I think that's why I said you'll have to ask me at the end of the year. I think we're all as athletes, yes, Jake's correct. My off season will be long enough to make a trip to Hawaii. That's definitely the goal.
Yeah.
Um,
He's wearing the t-shirt that I mentioned in that picture.
yeah, it's a good one. That
Yeah, I
was
can.
like my games like support tee, my
Oh, was
rookie.
it?
Yeah, and I think for 2 years in a row. Anyway, I'll probably take in the past, like when I've ended the games, I take like a week of zero exercising, like nothing, and then the next week is like maybe every other day or whatever I want. And then the rest of the month is just like class or like any fitness that sounds fun that's not programmed, like no
Right.
programming. Um,
Oh, but that worries me for you, because you've always said the fun thing is lifting heavy things. So I
yeah, but
worry that that you're going in being like, oh, just do something fun. Load it up,
no,
guys. Let's. How much weight can we
it's
put on this barbell?
it's actually kind of interesting because like in training, like sure I like to lift, but I don't really care so much about going heavy all the time. Like Justin could tell you, I probably err on the side of like being too cautious. Like, I'm like, okay, like that's good for today. Okay, that's good for today. Um, when I mean it's fun to lift heavy things, I mean it's fun to show off and like get to like
There we go.
perform heavy things.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'll probably my assumption is January I'll take a week or two off and then work out, but just in a class environment, like enjoy my affiliate people and maybe go home to my Oregon affiliate for a little bit. Um, Kind of just fitness for health and keep the
Yeah.
body moving and healthy, but not like for performance.
No. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Sometimes it's funny. Well, like today, what did you refer to today as before we started recording? It was like your
Oh, fake
fake
rest.
fake rest day. There we go. Yeah. So this is the trouble with some of you athletes. It's like, oh no, we're in my off season now, so I'm not training. Like, oh, what did you do? Well, I ran a half marathon and then I cycled the thing. And you're like, well, hold on, that doesn't sound like you're
Yeah.
not training. That sounds like you're doing a lot of work.
No, I'm good at resting. I like my rest days. Like
Yeah.
I, I that's why I call it a fake rest day because I don't want it to be skewed to like maybe young athletes or girls that are like afraid to take a rest day and they're like, "Oh, well, she doesn't take a rest day like she swims like and she works out and that's her rest." So like when I'm resting, I need to do something. Like, I don't agree with that. I think like full rest days are very important, whether that's one or two or three a week, whatever that is for you. That's why I say it's a fake rest day because yes, I'm not in the gym and my volume is low and I get to recover. But I'm still doing something and swimming is hard. And
Yeah.
um, I think it's just important for people to not like, uh, I guess, encourage people to do stuff if they actually need to rest.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that sort of goes back to like a few years ago where people were like, oh, I need to do, 2 free workouts a day because that's what the games athletes are doing. And then you just saw people being like burnt out so quickly
Mhm.
because it's like, yeah, that is what the elite athletes are doing that also have all the people to help them with their nutrition and their recovery and,
Oh, yeah. I try to tell people all the time, like, competing at an elite level in CrossFit is no longer like the methodology. Like, it is not healthy. Um, sure, we look jacked and ripped and fit, but like, I would say we're all probably overtraining a little bit. Like, as a female, like, sometimes my hormones and my nervous system is like all over the place. Um, like you're just putting a lot of stress on your body, on your nervous system. um so I would say it's not healthy. It's awesome and it's so fun and cool to like see what your body's capable of, but it's not comparable to like an everyday CrossFitter, which is great and it's healthy and it's fun and all
yeah,
that stuff.
which I guess is, it's similar to anything that's like the way they drive a race car is not, if you drove your car like that every day, that's like that's the end of your car, right? Like that's not
Yeah.
lasting. The way we want to look after kind of the car that we use to get to work every day, we're driving it in a very different way. We're maintaining it in a different way. But if you want a race car, that's how it's going to be. And it's sort of
Yeah.
like, what, you're training for a very specific purpose. You're
Hmm.
you're competing at the highest of levels, and you kind of know that that's also not what you're going to be doing forever, right? Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a finite window. You're going to do as much as you can in that time, and then, but you probably, I assume, will want to be fit forever. You want to use your fitness forever, and that will look
Absolutely.
very different. It will
Yeah.
still be, and I mean, and the baseline that you have will carry you for.
Yeah, I always joke I'm gonna do like three CrossFit classes with like Jake or something just to have fun. Then I'll do like dance classes the other days and then like Pilates or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd love to see you just walk into like the Pilates class, but what you've got to do is not let the other people know what you're doing. So like, just go in to Pilates like every, once a week or whatever, and they'll just be like, "How does she look like that? Like, how did she get that body doing Pilates once a week? Like, that's insane." Well, mostly it's done in the kitchen, guys. Yeah, it's just got to make sure you eat this and then sell them all your supplements. There you go.
There you go.
That's how you make money. This is a nice comment here from Megan. I have a 9-year-old daughter who loves watching you compete. I assume once again they're speaking about you and not me. So I appreciate the emphasis on recovery because she wants to work out every day.
Yeah, I mean, I for kids, I'm sure it's a little different, right? Because they're playing and it's like
Yeah,
fun and their workouts are like if it's I think if it's of her own volition and she's like having intrinsic motivation, I think that's awesome. I think it's when kids start to like, oh, I have to, then
yeah,
it's down a rabbit hole.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have to, and I'm not. So that's how good I am. I've gone the other way. Alex, I was. Oh, here's it. Okay, let's go with this. So we booked this in a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
which again I appreciate. You're very on it with. You said let's do it, and then you gave me a date. Down the line. So I thought brilliant. In between booking the show and you coming on the show, your name started popping up a lot on social media and being talked about. How was that? Like, it feels like you managed that whole situation really well.
Are we talking
Um,
about the gummy
I
situation?
think you know what we're talking about. Yes,
Well,
okay.
just in case
So what?
other people don't know.
Well, do you want to tell us what we're talking about? Because I don't want to say something incorrect. I want to be
Sure.
very diligent and careful that I don't, you know,
Yeah, no problem.
I don't want to like say because weren't you caught using a banned substance? No, that's not what happened. What happened exactly? Um, and how has I guess more I'm more interested in like the behind the scenes, how
Yeah.
you felt with everything, more so than the letter of the law rules and who was involved and this and that. But give us just a kind
Yeah.
of maybe a soft breakdown.
Yeah, so if you listen to the Talking Elite Fitness podcast where this storm started brewing, um, they had asked me how it felt to wake up on Sunday morning going into the event in first. And so I thought it'd be funny to share the story of how I didn't sleep. And when I tend to be an oversharer to a fault always. Like I'm just very honest, and like I grew up like telling my mom everything, and like I would get friends in trouble like being at their house, and we'd go somewhere else, and then we'd like wake up in the morning and their parents would be like, oh, like how was your guys' night? And I'd be like, oh, it was great. We went to like so and so's house, and my friends were like, Alex, like shut up. And I'm like, oh, like I was just saying what we did. Like I didn't know it was a problem. So sometimes I tend to just like not have a good filter, and I didn't even
Okay.
think twice that.
I will remind you then at this moment that this is a live show as well. So
Thank you.
just if you're thinking about saying anything that you might regret. But
Thank
yeah,
you. But no, I didn't even like have any like I guess radars going off of my brain, like because I had gotten the confirmation from Will that it was no longer on the banned substance list. So I was like, I'm good. Like I'm just gonna share this story. It's funny. I take ownership that I was like worried about it, and that's what like led to the whole story anyway. Um, okay, so I tell them this story. I think it's funny, yada yada. I wake up the next morning and Jake's like, "Oh, you should like call on to Savon. Like they're chatting about you." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll go listen." And I think they had like pulled up like a dance video or something, and Savon was kind of like pumping my tires a little bit. Um, and then he pulls up an article from Barbell Spin, and the headline is, "Did Alex Gazan admit to taking a banned substance?" And I was like,
like did I?
like what? And so I was like talking to someone for a second, and then like as that was happening, I was kind of just like trying to brush it off a little bit, like, oh, like it wasn't that big of a deal. Like I talked to Will, I it's like a microdose, yada yada. Um, and then as that was happening, I got like five texts from like Justin, Lucille, Snort, like my manager people, like everyone that's really involved in my
Yeah.
team. And they're like, what does this mean? Like, is your season ruined? Like, what's going on? And so what went from being like this, like, oh, haha, like, not a big deal in my mind, went to like, wait, is this actually gonna like screw things over for me? Because shit. And so I like hung up on Savon and kind of just went and read the article and kind of just tried to like get all the facts out. I texted Will and I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry. Like I shared that story, and like I think that there's going to be some backlash from it because they're going to get to the nitty gritty and they're going to see what they can find. And I'm sorry for like essentially just having this in the first place, like causing this." But then I also asked him like, "Hey, like." Is all the rules legit? Like, do you have the documentation? Because I don't want to. Um, I essentially just want to have my ammo ready for when all the angry people come at me. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like you're fine. Like we just need to update our official rule book." And also, like he sent out an email apologizing to the athletes, essentially saying like, "I'm sorry this wasn't communicated ahead of time, but we have not been testing for it since our inception, like in any of the tests." Anyway, so like I got the clearance from Will, which kind of gave me like again a little bit peace of mind. And then I had peace of mind knowing that as far as CrossFit's concerned, it was out of competition. In their rule book, you're allowed to take CBD and THC out of competition. So I wasn't that worried, but just because things were being stirred up so much, like you never know, right? Like you never know how something can be perceived. And so I definitely was a little worried that like maybe WFP would have to do something because of all the backlash. I don't know. I didn't know what was going to
Yeah.
happen, but I was a little worried. Once the dust settled, though, and I could tell like it was just kind of is what it is, then I kind of leaned into it and just kind of poked fun at myself. And um, it's funny because I think people are kind of joking about like me being a stoner, or like it tends to be like um someone made like the animations the other day and mine included like a little thing of gummies, and it's so funny because if you actually know me, like you know that I'm actually kind of a square and I'm quite boring. So it's just funny. I mean, now I can look back and laugh. Obviously,
Yeah.
learned a couple lessons, but now it's funny.
I guess there's that moment, isn't there, where you're like, okay, well, I don't know if you do this. Do you jump to worst case scenarios? Are you someone that quickly does that? Is there that moment where you're thinking, well, hold on, like people are going to be scrutinizing this. Maybe they have to, they have to act on it because of the scrutiny. What happens if, they say, oh, you were using it at a competition, therefore, it's a ban. And then that folds because, as you're saying, like out of competition for CrossFit, fine for that. But like if you get a ban, how does that affect you within? Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, which isn't
yeah,
the case and wouldn't be wasn't the case, probably wouldn't have been the case. But if you're like me, I'm immediately jumping to, oh no, what are the worst possible outcomes of this situation?
yeah. I think I would have had I not been secure in like knowing like I really I didn't feel like I did anything
Yeah,
wrong per se. Like honestly, I probably didn't even need to ask Will in the first place if I should, because what happened at the competition, I had taken it at once I won and that we went to drug testing. I like was like, hey, I'm kind of paranoid about this. If I do for some reason pop, like I just want you to know, like I take ownership of this and like I'm a little nervous. It's like the smallest dose ever, but like I guess do with it what you will. Like
yeah,
I already like took ownership of that. And that's why I told him because I wanted it to be out in the clear. In hindsight, the dose was so small and after doing research, like it wouldn't have even shown up. So like
right.
if they did decide to test for it in the urine that they have from that competition, I don't think anything would show up anyway.
Yeah,
So it was really hard for me to panic because, like, truly panic about my whole season because I just didn't really think there was any actual um, evidence to like do something other than my self admittance, which is fine too.
yeah,
Um, and I guess my hope was just that like everyone would see like my heart behind it, that like Will wasn't being slimy or sneaky or trying to like throw me a bone. Like that's kind of I think where some of the people went with it, like it was special treatment, and that
yeah.
wasn't the case.
I,
And
I think that would be like almost the bigger concern
yeah,
is not, it's that thing where people unpack it to the point of like, well, it's not about that anymore. It's like
yeah,
this is now what we can use to talk about, favoritism to certain named athletes that are going to draw a crowd,
yeah,
certain
yeah. And
people
I
that,
think that's
you
it.
don't want the winner of your event to be the one. Like there's,
Yeah,
there's
totally.
all of
And
that kind of.
I think that's important to address. And like I that's why I wanted to reiterate, like it was not in any way, shape, or form like, oh, I'm gonna take it out for you, or
Yeah,
don't worry about it, like it's fine. Like he very clearly was like, we never wanted to test for it. Like it's 2025, the NFL, all the in his statement, which you can find,
yeah.
um,
I've got a
a
copy of it.
lot.
I got sent it.
Yeah, there you go. A lot of like sports now just don't care about THC. And so that was their goal. It was on them that it wasn't updated in the rule book, but that was also on me for taking it regardless of knowing if it
Mhm.
was okay or not. So I take ownership of that. Um, Again, like it's CBD, like that's what I was taking, which is allowed, but it's a full spectrum CBD. So it has small amounts of THC in it, if that makes sense. So anytime you harvest CBD or like create CBD from the plant, there is THC until you extract it out.
Right.
Um, so there's broad spectrum and full spectrum will have that residue of THC in it. Um, I wasn't like smoking a joint or purposely trying
No,
to like
because
get
you're a square,
high.
which you've told us.
Yeah. So I think like that's just like the important I guess things you could pull out of this is like me being more on top of what I'm taking and like not just relying on, oh, it's going to be fine, like just being more on top of that. And then, yeah, I just want to reiterate like it wasn't special treatment. But now they've updated the rule book and hopefully they'll keep it updated. And yeah, it is
Yeah,
what it is. Now it's just, I guess I have the profile of a stoner now.
yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you feel, and I'm not insinuating anything here
Yeah,
to
no
anyone
worries.
or this and that, but do you feel that like people are looking for, because there is this sort of conflict between WFP and CrossFit and
Yeah,
I'm not saying, and when I say that, I don't
yeah,
mean there is a conflict between the organizers of WFP and those in charge at CrossFit. I mean, as with many things that have happened over the years within, the fitness community, some people have decided that, one thing means, like, if you support this, you're against that, or if you support this
yeah.
one, then you're
I
against
think
that one.
I'm putting
Uh,
up what you're putting down.
yeah,
Um,
well, and honestly, I've sat back from a lot of the conversation because I don't have a horse in this race really. I'm just happy to talk to anyone. But do you feel that, like, because of that, these kind of things get blown up more?
yeah, I would say so. Like, um, I
And I
think,
guess more like you were saying, people in the comments or people that decided to take it and run with it a certain way. So I'm not
yeah,
even necessarily saying those that are reporting on it, but it's like, once it's out
yeah,
there, what do other people do with that information?
yeah. I was gonna say I think the reporting would have happened either way. Like, I think Barbell Spin would have reported it whether it was WFP or CrossFit. And like, I don't question that. I do think that because it was WFP, um, the comments and like the people that have hopped on the bandwagon that is anti WFP, they just wanted to tear it apart. And the reality is yes, it was a mistake and it looked poor, but like pretty much every organization in CrossFit has made mistakes. Like, you have judging issues at Wadapalooza, you have procedure issues at CrossFit. Like, every organization will have a mistake here or there. I just think that because it's WFP, it's amplified a bit. Um, and
And it's
yeah,
also the first year. Like,
yeah.
when you think about other
Yeah.
events in general. I mean, actually, I was speaking to a friend of mine on Tuesday, I guess, who he just got married, and so he's just come back from his honeymoon. I was at his wedding like 2 weeks ago, and was just asking him, how he felt the wedding went. Like, how was it? How was, are you happy with everything? And he was like, yeah, I was happy with this, happy with that. And then he just mentioned like a couple of things that kind of went wrong at
Mm-hmm.
the wedding, and I was just saying to him, look, don't get overly stressed about that. Don't worry too much about that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nothing ever goes to plan. The bigger the event, the more likely something is to go wrong. And I think I literally said, look at like these kind of sports events, something like that. They will have things that go wrong, even though they've got a lot of people organizing it. They've got a lot of time, experience. Like, just stuff goes wrong like that,
Yeah, and
and
I
we
think
try to
just
fix it, but it happens.
yeah, I think just the WFP has like a really harsh limelight on them right now. So like anything that goes wrong, people are really quick to talk about it and to make it a really big deal. Um, However, I think like their heart and their purpose behind it is great, and I think that like, hey, sorry, my dog's really territorial of his toy, and my other dog's trying to get it. Luna, come here. Anyway, I think that their intentions and goals are so awesome, and their goal is just to elevate the sport and create an avenue for athletes to compete and like for fans to watch and it to be like this awesome thing. And I think people are thinking it's a direct attack on CrossFit, and the reality is like I love CrossFit and my goal is to go to the games, and like I'm still obviously like the fittest on earth is a title I'd love to have. But the reality is CrossFit also has dropped the ball many times, and um, it's not a sustainable way to be a professional athlete. And I know that CrossFit didn't stem from that, and I think that's the hard thing is people are torn between, well, back in 2014 and 15, like the athletes were involved in their affiliates and they didn't have egos and they didn't care about getting paid or sponsorships. But the reality is like you can't make the games now
Yeah.
without investing your life to it. Like, yes, there are people that have other jobs, but like it's you're all in now. Like, and I think that's a really important distinction because I would love to just train a couple hours a day and coach at my affiliate and just essentially be a part of the community all the time. And but like you can't make a living like that
Yeah.
anymore. And so I've kind of forgot where I was going with this, but oh yeah, I remember. But the WFP, there's like scrutiny about us getting paid and like, oh, we're just in it for the money and we're all hoity-toity. But the idea is like, if you want us to put on these shows and like be these phenomenal athletes, like it's so helpful to have your finances covered
Yeah.
and not have to stress of having another job or this or that. And then you can do that. You can have more time to be back in the community if you're not stressed all the time. Hopefully that all made sense. I feel like I just
Yeah,
kind of
it does. I mean, and the idea of like, oh, you're in it for the money. Well, if you're choosing to be an athlete as your career, then you
Mhm.
are in it for the money. Like, of course, you have to be. Like, most of us are whatever pursuit we
Yeah.
have to
When I
as our work. We're in it. Like, few of us are
yeah.
getting up and going to work because we love our jobs so much. We're like, I'm going to do it for free. We're all doing it for the money. So,
Yeah,
like,
well, the reality is like you have to have a very special support system to be able to do it without the money. So
yeah,
like my rookie year at the games, I didn't have really any. I had like sponsors more so like material, not financial, but like
mhm.
here's some clothes, here's this. Um, but I had like I didn't have very many bills, and I had my husband, so like I was able to not have to work and be able to pursue training. If I didn't have that, like I wouldn't have been able to. Like it's a privilege to be able to train and not work. And I think that that's just where people get lost. I think a little bit is like the WFP. Like we're maybe some athletes can be hoity-toity. I don't know, but like we're not trying to be prima donnas or like I would never put myself above anyone else. It just like if you want me to compete at the highest level and give everything to training, then like sure, I'd love to be paid so I can do it, you
Yeah.
know? And at the CrossFit games, if you're not, well, I would say top 5, but now that things have changed, if you're not top 3, you're not making enough money to live the rest of the year. Um, I got 5th in 23 and it was I want to say like 50 grand, which like you can live off that frugally for the year. I mean, it's you're not rich, but like you can live off that.
I think it's because people look at it as like a big payday for that weekend. And it's
Mhm.
like, well, you made 50 grand in one weekend. That's incredible. Like, well, hey. And it's like, yeah, but that's the money. That's not the money for that weekend. That's not me going out for a big dinner. That is now the money I need so I can afford to do all of the other things. And I mean, there's other, things that it's interesting. Like when you talk about, oh, you can't, it's hard just to work at an affiliate and, and, and go to the games now. I would even say that like, we train, we as in like normal humans like me, like we
Mhm.
train CrossFit to kind of get a little bit good at all the different elements of functional fitness, right? And
Mhm.
then when you get people that are games level, it's like, no, this is my, Olympic lifting coach, and this is my swim coach, and this is my, and it's like, it's almost the opposite. It's like, I go to one affiliate to learn to do all of those different things, whereas
Mhm.
they go to all these different, you have like different experts to then put that all together. So the result is sort of the same thing. It's that one CrossFit.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
me, it's like CrossFit's training me to do all these other things. And they're like, no, I'm being trained
Yeah.
to do independently all these things to then be good at CrossFit.
Yeah, I
So
mean
it's very
back in the
different.
yeah, back in the day, if you were really talented, you could do an affiliate class, maybe a little extra, and then you can make it. And then I think it like digressed a little bit to where people had like their coaches and their camps. But what's funny is like it wasn't hated on back then, like, and it was the same thing. But now that it's like just very obvious and like I don't know. It's tough. And like I'm very involved in my affiliate. Like I
Yeah.
love my affiliate, Camp Rhino, by the way. Like I love all the coaches there. I love the members. Like sure, maybe I don't get to participate in class as much as I would hope, but like I try to train around class so I can like see them or on my weeks off I'll take class or um
And
I do
if one of those members does a drop in at another, another affiliate somewhere else, they've gone on vacation, they've dropped into another affiliate. Oh, where do you train? They're saying, oh, I train at Camp Rhino. Oh, Camp Rhino, that sounds familiar. Yeah, well, you might know that's the affiliate Alex Gazan goes to. Oh, right, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll be so proud of that. Like, and I
yeah.
think it's kind of one of the things where it's easy. to look in and be like, oh, they're not as involved anymore and this that. But I imagine that the members that go to the affiliate, probably for them, it is also like, they're proud that they've got, somebody representing their affiliate that is known on a global scale within CrossFit.
Absolutely. And I still think the affiliates are like the heart of CrossFit. That's where all your fan base comes from, because CrossFit is such a niche sport that, like, it's really hard to explain to people that don't do it.
Yeah.
Like my family, I feel like is just now understanding what I'm doing, or like how the points work or what my competitions are. And I'll say, like, I've had times, I think, where I've been more involved in like my community and like maybe a little less, and like it always feels a lot better to come home after a competition with those relationships, because it feels like it meant something. Um, and I don't think WFP takes away from that. I think that it's just another avenue to get to compete and share. And yeah.
I mean, for me, I think, and this isn't even about what happened at the games, but there will be people that hear the word CrossFit
Hmm.
and like that closes the door, right? It's like, oh, was it CrossFit? Don't want to hear about it for whatever
Yeah.
reason. Maybe they heard something bad about CrossFit 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
like that's just cemented in their mind now. So that is a door closed, and we
Hmm.
can try and keep banging on that door and say, well, actually, probably what you heard isn't true, or this or that. Obviously, there's people from last year that's the trigger and why they don't want to hear anything about CrossFit.
Hmm.
But you will have those people. Like I work with someone who I see the kind of training he does. I hear the things he's talking about, and I'm like, oh man. But he has this opinion of, and he like once sent me a video, and it was like the games of so long, like at the ranch. So I think it was when they were like banging the steak
Oh,
into
okay.
and
Hmm.
he's like, oh, this is what you do, and it's like that's not what I do. Like that's not even close to what I do. But
Yeah.
for him, that's CrossFit, and so that door's closed. So I think if we go back to like the methodology and you know, I've spoken to a lot of, so I do the podcast for my local affiliate, and I spoke to so many members there, and the number of members that joined because we used to run outside on a certain loop, and they saw these people running, and were like, "Who are these people?" And then they put their head through the door, and that's how they kind of got into it. And I do, and when my wife, when we started CrossFit, like it was. We were looking for something to do. We found some games documentaries. We watched those, and my wife was like, "Oh, that looks really cool. Let's go and there's one in there's CrossFit Bath. Let's go and check it out." So if the door to CrossFit is closed for some people, I personally think just the more opportunities there are to see these athletes performing, doing incredible stuff with their bodies and being like, oh, that is so good. Now, why I know I will never be as good as them. Oh, it's really motivational. It makes me want to go to the gym and try something. And, you know, you see these people doing that, and it's like, where am I going to go? Oh, look, there's this CrossFit gym in my town. They've got a rig, they've got a this, they've got a that, they do classes. That's probably where I should go. And that's
Hmm.
I said that for the last couple of years about things like Grid League. I think great. It gives a chance for people to see fitness. And then if that move, oh, it's really cool what they do. I wish I could do something like that. Yeah, go to a CrossFit gym. They'll help you out. You want to run a
Hmm.
high rocks? Guess where you're probably going to find a sled. You're going to find ski ergs. You're going to find rowers, probably at your local CrossFit affiliate. So I think the more, you know, opportunities people have to stumble across fitness, the better. Like
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
do
Hopefully
it.
there can be some sort of like unity between everything shortly, whether it's like higher up or lower down, because I think a rising tide does float all boats. And like you said, the more the merrier, and hopefully that will be the case. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ride till the
Yeah.
wheels fall off. And
Well, also, as we said earlier, like you've got a you've got a window of opportunity, right? So the more chances there are for you to get your name out there, you know, like have deals with sponsors that, even for that, like bargaining power with sponsors. You're like,
Mhm.
yeah, if you sponsor me, I'll put out some Instagram posts. Okay. All right. You'll see me at the games. You'll see me at Rogue. You'll see me at WFP. You'll see it, and they'll all see your brand. Right. Now we're talking. Now we've got
That's like
something.
the huge issue with CrossFit, like getting sponsors in this sport, is you don't have the same reach that a basketball player or an NFL player or a hockey player. You just don't have, you don't have the screen time, you don't have the
Yeah.
airtime. you're limited to social media. So social media becomes kind of the first like realm of qualification to get your sponsor, then your performance. So you're no longer like an athlete, you're like an influencer. I'm not a good influencer. Like I like to post on Instagram, but I don't always think of like sometimes I can be kind of funny, but I don't always like have the best posts or this or that and but it's kind of what you have to do now. Whereas if the sport's able to grow and you have the media and you get it on Netflix and people start to watch and they want to see their horse win the race and um, it grows, then sponsors will have a lot more to like work with and they'll be more open to it. Right now, the sponsor pool is really small and it's really saturated and they're having a really hard time wanting to invest because they don't know what they're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind
And,
of interesting.
it's hard, is it? Because like, I mean, if you've got like a shoe sponsor, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I love Alex Gazan and she wears these shoes, but I also love, Tia and she wears these shoes. And I also love, give me another name of an athlete. I don't know. Really love, who do we love? Who do we love? Well, everyone loves Daniel Brandon. There you go. There's another one. We love, like, I've only got one pair of feet, right? So it's sort
No.
of to then be convinced that, all right, these are the shoes. So it is hard. Yeah, you're right. It's a saturated market. It's a finite pool of people who are big fans of a number of people who
Mm-hmm.
might have different sponsors or sometimes the same sponsor or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. I mean, August did suggest that you come out with your own you start working with a CBD company if you're not already. I bet that's in the
That's
pipeline.
hopefully in the works. I think
Yeah,
Lucille
I had
is in
no
the works.
doubt that that was already in the works.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh, okay. Now we've got Craig. I'm so sorry. We're leaving. Good for you to show up, Craig. Anyway, yeah, but you're doing amazing. So that's great,
Thank you,
right?
Jason. Yeah,
You're
thank you.
always on the podium. But even if you're not, you're just having a good time. It's
Thank
it's nice to see you like having a good time because I think Rogue, there was some hiccups there that you weren't in the best of spirits when I saw you. And neither was Justin, which
I wonder what you're talking about.
yeah,
I'm just
but
kidding.
he's funny when he's like worked up.
It's funny
But
for you.
it's funny because he gets so he
Yeah.
gets so
No, it was so funny.
but you are, but then it's sad when it's
I
like
came off
when I'm talking to
before.
you. Yeah.
I assume you're talking about the last event.
Oof. I wasn't even thinking. Well, yes, but even before then, I think
Which
it
one were
was
you talking about?
even Friday. Was it
Oh, yes.
Friday
Yes.
was like really bad for you.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Yeah, I was thinking more the last event. Like I came off and he was like kind of upset and I was upset. I was like, I can't right now. So I walked away and like came back and but like it all was out of caring. Like he started crying because he cares so much and I'm crying and yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, Friday wasn't fun either.
No,
It's
and
like
so
that sometimes.
yeah, it
It
is like
happens.
that sometimes. But that's why it's nice to see some happy experiences as well, right? Like it's
Yeah. I mean, at
because
the end of the
I think
day,
that helps you pull you through those bad ones where you're like, okay, this one's not going well, but like
yeah.
the last one went really well. So
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not that deep. Like life goes on. It just stings for a minute and then
yeah,
you keep going.
there. What a positive attitude. Well, thank you so much for your time, Alex. Always. Oh, look at this. We'll let Jake get the last word in.
Yes, babe, that event. You're correct.
Yeah. Well, it's because on the Friday I think we'd finished, and then like Justin
Oh
just
yeah.
like ran past me, but then turned back to tell me like how annoyed he was, and then he went out. So I was like, wow.
Yeah, so I thought I was gonna win that event. This also goes to show never be too confident. I thought I was gonna win, and it was called Braveheart. So I wanted to paint my face. Like Jake and I watched Braveheart just for shits and giggles that day, and Katie told us that there would be a face painter. And the face painter, I guess, had like gone home for the day, so they were gone. I was like, dang it, like that would have been so fun. And I was like so bummed about it. Like I was gonna go for it. Like my face is gonna be half blue. And I was like, I'm gonna crush this event and it's gonna be awesome. And that did not happen. I did very poorly. And both like partly of my own stuff and then partly outside
Yeah.
factors. Um, but like at the end of the day, mostly my own stuff. And I did poorly, and I was like, I'm so glad I didn't paint my face because that would have been very
I was
embarrassing.
going to ask, how glad are you that the face painter had gone home?
Yeah, I was really glad. That would have been very embarrassing to have like been just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna crush this and then not.
Yeah. Well, yes, but spoilers for Braveheart, a movie that came out quite a long time ago, didn't go so well for them in the end either. So
That's true. That's true.
it could have been almost fitting. Right, I'm gonna let you go because you need to eat. So
Oh, you're fine. I mean, you can let me go, but
yeah.
thank you for
Well,
having me on.
wouldn't be the first time you've cooked a meal and eaten it on the show. So
Thank you for having me
let
on.
me know next time you're doing a steak, and then we'll get you on so we can have your
Perfect.
You can teach T-Bird how to cook a steak.
Medium rare, baby.
So next up is Knockout, right? That's
Yes, sir. Next week.
next week. So everybody, get on the Alex Gazan train, start cheering her on, hyping her up for that, because you've got a games ticket you need to go and grab.
Yep. There'll be a lot of relief after next weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. All the best with your training. All the best with that. Your next tour stop on WFP, the finals of WFP, hopefully the Rogue, hopefully the games, and then Hawaii. So fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jason. Have a great
Thank you,
day.
Alex.
Or night, I guess.
It is nighttime. Yeah. Bye, everyone.